ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तमुनि। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। व्याप्तिरस्य निजे निजे नमसा पक्षे सपक्षे स्थिति व्यवृत्तिश्च विपक्षतोत्त विषये शक्तिर्न वै बाध्यते नैवास्ति प्रतिपक्ष युक्तिरतुलं शुद्धं प्रमाणं समे भूयात् तत्त्व विनिर्णयाय भगवान् आनंद तीर्थो मुनि श्रीमद् आनंद तीर्थार्य सन्मनः सरसि भुवि अनुव्याख्यान नलिने चंच विकति मने मनः सनातनं रूपम इहोपदर्शन आनंद सिंधु परितप्रवर्धेन अंतस्तमस्तोम हरस्सराजतां चैतन्य रूपो वितुरद्भुतोदया। Hare Krishna. So we will continue our discussion on Vedānta Syamantaka, which with the next section on kāla. Last week we had discussed about kāla. I mean, we had read about kāla. So we have discussed about Jiva Tattva, and we have discussed about Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord we have discussed, Jiva we have discussed, Prakriti we have discussed. Now, in all these three, Ishvara is beyond the influence of Prakriti, whereas Jiva can come under the influence of Prakriti. It has the potential. So ultimately, it is the either the Ishvara, the Jiva is guided by Ishvara or it is guided by Prakriti. So that is the understanding. But the question is, what about kāla? So kāla is something which is not influenced by Prakriti. It is not influenced by three modes. Okay, it is just moving without any influence of three modes of material nature. And the speciality of kāla is it is a factor that facilitates creation, maintenance, and destruction. If time was not there, then what would happen? Then things would not move, things would not change, everything would be fixed. Okay. It is not possible to imagine a situation where time is not there, because kāla is improving the things, kāla is eventually decaying the things. It is helping the creation, it is helping the destruction. So everything under material nature is influenced by time. So if you say human body, our hair are influenced by time, it becomes white. And our skin is influenced by time, it becomes old. Our bones are influenced by time, they become weak. So every part of our body, our clothes that we wear are influenced by time, which we eventually they will have to be thrown and new set of clothes have to be worn. So the food that we have eaten will be digested by time, and then it will be finished. The whole body will be finished. Ultimately, when everything is destroyed, everything under the influence of time is destroyed, that one thing which is not destroyed, that is what we actually are. That is the spirit soul, that is our existence. So we are thinking everything that is influenced by time, we are identifying with ourselves. We identify the body with ourselves, we identify our name with ourselves, we identify the clothes that we wear, the house that we stay in, the relatives of ours. Everything which is influenced by time, we identify it with ourselves. But only when time destroys everything, what is left, which is not destroyed by time, that is actually what we are, the spirit soul. So time is doing a great service of making us realize who we are. We are the spirit soul, we are not destroyable. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neve janadipah nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam atapram. So everything will be destroyed. All these bodies will be destroyed, but then none of these kings will be destroyed. I and you will not be destroyed because the body will dehinasmin yatha dehe kaumaram memanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatun. We will change bodies. So eventually, when all these things are destroyed by the influence of time, what is not destroyed? We are actually that. That is the point time is making us realize at every moment. That is the speciality of time. And this time, you cannot feel it, you cannot see it, you cannot touch it. It's so subtle. But then it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. He says in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I am kāla. I am time, and by my force, I have destroyed everything. All the people assembled in the battlefield will be destroyed, except for you five Pandavas. Everyone will be finished, and you are supposed to enjoy the kingdom. That's what Krishna says in the battlefield as Vishwarupa in the 11th chapter. So, that Supreme Lord is time, and He is in the form of time controlling everything, eventually destroying everything. So that is a very fearful form of the Lord. Time generates fear. If time was not there, there was no fear. We are afraid. I was into some yajna, but I was concerned. I was anxious that will the yajna finish on time? Will my prasadam happen on time? Will I be able to come for the class? I was anxious. That anxiety is there because time is there. If this time was not there, I would not have that anxiety maybe. So similarly, one day we are going to pass away. One day we are going to leave the body. So that generates fear. So fear element exists because time exists. And that time is the Supreme Lord Himself. So Supreme Lord Himself is the fear generating factor within us. So He is omniscient. He knows everything. And because He is omniscient, He is controlling the time. Okay. And it can be seen very beautifully how Krishna controls time. We are bound by the laws of nature. We are bound by time. But then Krishna, He changed the time also. When the Vrajavasis were sleeping and Krishna was blowing his flute, while Krishna was playing the flute, all the gopis came attracted towards him in the forest, Dwadasha Kanana. So they came to the forest to meet him. And Bilas Kunje Diovas, Mora Bilas Kunje Diovas is saying, no. So that Bilas Kunja is deep in the forest, dark, dense forest where wild animals are there. It takes great courage to go there. Only few people who have that great surrender, like the gopis, can reach there. Otherwise, most of the people can get afraid, that too in the dark of the night. So, when Krishna was performing the Rasalila with the gopis, so for the Vrajavasis, it was one night that has passed. But for otherwise, it was Brahma's one night. For the gopis, it was Brahma's one night that has passed. And so much time the Rasalila has happened. But others did not feel Brahma's one night. Otherwise, they would be hungry and they would have other problems if they had to wait without food, just sleeping for Brahma's one night. So they didn't feel that. So that is the speciality. Krishna can change time for everyone. For different people, he can set different time frames. So that is the speciality of Krishna. Now, this time being a representative of Krishna, so we can feel Krishna at every moment because we can feel time at every moment. Class has started, very soon the class will get over. All these feelings of class has started, class will get over, then some other work will be there. All these feelings are because there is time. So by feeling this time, every moment Krishna can be felt. And those who are Krishna conscious that way, for them, every moment wasted is like missing an association with Krishna for a moment. So this time is very precious. Time and tide wait for no man, it's said in English. No? So like that, time doesn't wait for anybody. A moment lost cannot come back even if you pay lakhs of rupees or crores of rupees, billions of rupees, whatever you pay, that time will never come back. So that is why every moment if we don't utilize it for spiritual advancement, then that time is lost and wasted. It will not come back. So it is very important that every moment has to be utilized in service of the Lord. Now, this is very interesting. Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 51st chapter, 19th verse. Muchakunda is praying to the Supreme Lord. He says, inexhaustible time, stronger than the strong, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Like an herdsman moving his animals along, he moves mortal creatures as his pastime. So now we are all moving from one place to other. Maybe some will go to office, maybe some will go home, some will go to some other place, some relatives' house and all. Why all this movement is happening? Because the time is causing that movement. And that time is the Supreme Lord compared to a herdsman who is herding animals. And we are those animals who are moved in time. And all this process is his pastime. He is performing this pastime of moving us through using time. It means himself becoming time. He is moving us from one place to another. So this is a very nice way of representing this concept of time. So time is also described as a wheel. Okay, the wheel that is rotating all the time. So from a moment to Brahma's lifetime. Now the time has upadis, just like Akasha we had discussed, sky. There is a Ghatakasha, there is a Madhakasha, or there is a Mahaakasha. There is a sky in the pot, there is some space in the pot. Similarly, there is some space in the matha or the temple. Similarly, there is some Mahaakash, the whole big space. So like that, there are different upadis or designations. Similarly, time has its own designations. It may be a second, it may be a minute, it may be an hour, it may be a week, it may be a day or year. It will be one Brahma's day or one Brahma's lifetime. Like that, there are different divisions of time. So this way, time is systematically divided into different sections. And every moment of time is meant for spiritual advancement. It is meant to make us realize that one day all this will go. Concentrate on that which is not worn out by time, the spirit soul. So concentrate just on that. It is meant to teach us that. It is meant to make us realize that at every moment. And so one moment we miss out on realizing that, that means that moment is lost. It will never come back again. So that is the understanding we have to develop from this thing. So there are Shruti Pramanas also. There is no cognition in the world in which time is not manifest. So time is practically manifest everywhere. There is no place in this universe where the effect of time is not there. Krishna is called Kāla kāla. Kāla kāla means he is the time of time. So time is controlling us. Time is not allowing us to move. Time is forcing us to move. Time is controlling us. So who is that who controls time also and who makes time move also? So that is the Supreme Lord. So how subtle he may be, for time, it will be feeling the way we are feeling moving in time. The time will be feeling moving in Krishna. So that is the speciality. So such is the subtle power of Krishna. Although time is the master of demigods, it has no influence over the Supreme Lord's abode. So how can he be influenced by demigods who are how can he be influenced by demigods who are merely rulers of this universe? That is what is said. So Prabhupada very nicely mentions this in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto 8, chapter 28th verse. Another name of the Paramatma feature of Lord is Kala or eternal time. Eternal time is the witness of our actions, good and bad, and thus resultant actions are destined by him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and what for we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed for which we may suffer at the present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion. And therefore, he knows everything, past, present, and future. And because the Paramatma feature of Lord Krishna destines all actions and reactions, he is the supreme controller also. Without his sanction, not a blade of grass can move. The living beings are given as much freedom as they deserve, and misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are good sons of the Lord. Otherwise, who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by eternal kāla. The kāla offers the conditioned souls both happiness and miseries. It is all predestined by eternal time. As we have miseries uncalled for, so we may have happiness also without being asked for they are all predestined by kāla. No one is therefore either an enemy or a friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the results of his own destiny. This destiny is made by the living beings in course of social intercourse. Everyone here wants to lord it over material nature, and thus everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is all pervading, and therefore he can see everyone's activities. And because the Lord has no beginning or end, he is also known as the eternal time, Kala. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.28. So, these are some treasures that we can get from Bhaktivedanta purports. Very beautiful way of presenting this. So Supreme Lord knows everything, past, present, and future. And without the sanction of Supreme Lord, nothing is going to happen. Not a blade of grass will move. However, everyone has a small choice to make, whether to follow the scriptures and the codes of the Lord or go against the scriptures and become demoniac. So everyone has the small choice to make to become divine, become demoniac, or become in between. So that choice, one who misuses, he is put under the influence of Kala. One who misuses his choice, he is under the influence of Kala and he is made to enjoy happiness and suffer miseries. So these miseries nobody wants, but they make the wrong choice, and that is why they come under the control of Kala. So that is the point Prabhupada is mentioning here. So, uh, the abode of the Lord, the Supreme Lord's abode, na tad bhashayate suryo na shashanko na pavaka yat gatva na nivartante tad dham paramam. That abode of the Lord is not influenced by Kala. If you go to Vaikuntha or the spiritual world, there is no influence of Kala. That way there is no degrading. Some for pastimes there may be some darkness or there may be some light. All these things may be there for facilitating pastimes. But the degrading tendency of Kala or the destroying tendency of Kala is not manifest in the spiritual world. It is manifest only in the material world. And everyone in the material world, starting from a small insect to Brahma, is under the influence of this Kala. Nobody is free from this. So now it is a choice that we have to make whether we are going to utilize the Kala for means we are going to connect with the Lord in Kala and increase our spiritual advancement, or we are going to disconnect ourselves from the Kala. That is why this is very important. Athato Brahma Jignasa. When we say now human life is got, and now you have got association of devotees, now you have got Sangha of Brahmanas, now you have got Shastras. So now is the time when we should start inquiring about absolute truth. Not even 50 years later, not even 20 years later, not even 5 years later, not even next year. Now is the time to begin. Why this emergency is there? This emergency is created by Brahma Sutras so that we don't unnecessarily postpone our perfection of life. Even a slight lethargy in this, it just postpones to next generation. Perfect example is Bharat Maharaj. So he gave all the responsibility of kingdom to his children, completely detached himself from his wife, from his children, everyone from in his prime youth, and such a big responsibility, responsibility of the whole world. He just gave up all that and went to the forest. To do what? In the forest, he was doing tapasya, he was worshipping Shaligrama, he was meditating on the Lord, he was completely absorbed in spiritual activities. But he had still one problem left, the problem of misplaced compassion. So he saw a deer, it gave birth to a baby and ran away. Then that baby deer started growing around the ashram. He could have just saved the baby deer and left it, because there are so many deers all over the world, all over the forests who are moving around. And as long as they are destined to be alive, no lion comes in their life. The moment their destiny is over, the time is over, some lion comes and eats it, or some tiger comes and eats it, so they are dead. So this is the law of nature. So you can give some compassion by offering something, means saving the life. But then to get attached to it, saying that I am the controller of this deer, I am the maintainer of this deer, that was disastrous for him. So that soft heart of his and one desire of his postponed his perfection to two more lifetimes. So now if we make a list of desires that we have, so compared to Bharat Maharaj, so how far we are from the ultimate destination of going back to Godhead. So going to the kingdom of God is not a easy thing or not a cheap thing. It's definitely it involves a lot of effort. So that is why every moment one should be conscious that it should not be wasted without the thoughts of Krishna. Only when that situation comes, that is when only we will actually be able to achieve our perfection. Now, this time itself is controlling all the demigods. So Radha Damodar Goswami argues here that time is controlling all the demigods, time is not controlling Vishnu. So how can demigods control Vishnu? So the previous argument in Ishvara Tattva that what is that? There are many gods and all these things that can also be refuted using Kala as an argument. So Kala cannot control Vishnu. How can Devatas who are under influence of Kala control Vishnu? So that is not possible. So there is one more interesting thing in the fourth canto of Bhagavatam. I would like to read that. Time is figuratively described here as Chandavega. Since time and tide wait for no man, time is herein called Chandavega, which means very swiftly passing away. As time passes, it is calculated in terms of years. 1 year contains 360 days, and the soldiers of Chandavega herein mentioned represent these days. Time passes swiftly. Chandavega's powerful soldiers of Gandharva very swiftly carry away all the days of our life. As the sun rises and sets, it snatches away the balance of our lifespan. Thus, as each day passes, each one of us loses some of life's duration. It is therefore said that the duration of one's life cannot be saved. But if one is engaged in devotional service, his time cannot be taken away taken away by the sun. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.17, Ayur Harati Vaipumsam Udyan Astram Chayan Asau. The conclusion is that if one wants to make himself immortal, he should give up sense gratification. By engaging oneself in devotional service, one can gradually enter the kingdom of God. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 27th chapter, verse number 13. So, very beautifully it is described that every sunrise and every sunset, what is happening is our lifetime is reducing by 1 day. So, every day when the night passes and the morning comes, 1 day is over of our life. So in this way, we are slowly inching towards the last part of our life. Everyone, even the newborn child is moving towards the last part of his life every day. But one who is engaged in pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord, for him this influence will not be there. Why influence will not be there? Does it body not grow old? Definitely it will grow old. But then the whole plan will be to move towards God, to move towards the Supreme Lord. So that is why this thing is very important, and that we should understand the nature of time. Okay. So time cannot limit the Supreme Lord. It is just a pastime of his. The pastime of the Supreme Lord is time, and he is not under the influence of the eternal Kala. So this is a short section. The Kala is a short section. Any questions regarding this you can ask before we'll start with Karma. Any questions here? Was it little? I know it's afternoon session, but was it little boring or everyone understood it? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, bro. Some question.
Yes, bro.
So, bro, I have to ask something.
Yes, bro.
Prabhu, the birth, old age, disease, death, the real problems of life, which we discussed. So, are they effects of kāla, karma, or both?
Birth, old age, and disease and death. Definitely, karma decides the body, and once the body is chosen, then everything that happens comes under the influence of Kala.
Oh. So, like untimely death, or it said no that he died before
No,
his.
everything is under the influence of Kala, but then karma is also a deciding factor as to when it will happen, under what circumstances it will happen.
Mm, yes.
Okay. Anything else?
Roji, I didn't get this point of Kala being the pastime of the Lord. What does it exactly mean?
It means that the Lord is not influenced by it. Lord is free from the influence, but he is controlling all of us through the to taking the form of Kala. So that is the understanding that he is the pastime. It's the pastime of his, because in a pastime, Lord doesn't get influenced by it. Just that Lord influences everyone else. So that we should understand.
Okay. And Prabhuji, there are many devotees who would be trying to do devotional service, but it would not be pure devotional service. So, the point which was made here was, that every second is going on, but once someone who spends his time, say, in bhakti, his time is not going away. So, there we mean pure devotional service or any devotional service?
So at least a person should do mixed devotional service so that his journey will be there. But definitely it's recommended that if you want quick results, then pure devotional service only has to be there.
Okay. So basically, Prabhuji, if suppose a person say he is trying to do bhakti but not perfect bhakti and he passes away, say at the age of 70 or 80, then would we say that his age is not taken away like based on the this thing, or we would say that okay, sometime he utilized for bhakti, some so that is not taken away like that. How do we understand that point?
No, if you see in the long journey, right, he will eventually, he could go towards perfection, his life go towards God. Okay. So why a person's life is not reduced, we say because eventually he's going back to God. So that way it is not reducing because he will have eternal life. That is the understanding. But one who works for senses, then his life is just going to keep on reducing. Reducing means he is going to get another life which is going to be finished very soon. Like that. So that is why when one is in devotional service, pure devotional service, of course, once he leaves the body, he goes to God and just continues that. Those who are in mixed devotional service, gradually the mixture will be purified and then they will be able to go to God. So in that way, their next life, at least next few lives, maybe 2, 3 lives later, 5 lives later, 10 lives later, whatever is next few lives later, at least they will reach that eternity. So that is the idea of time doesn't influence them.
Okay.
Right now, we are not in the spiritual world. This means past times we were supposed to participate in our past. So, does this not mean that the spiritual world is also influenced by time? So, again, that comes to the Jiva fall down issue. Is it that past times are paused or have the past times not yet started? So, even if they are not yet started, your question would still be valid that it's under influence of time or what? No, it is not like that because even here there is a connection with the Supreme Lord. As Paramatma in the heart, he is connected with us. And as Mahavishnu, he breathes out and he allows us to come. So there is always connection with the Supreme Lord, even in this world also. So we cannot say that at this point of time the relationship actually started. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhu,
Our time is different and universal time will be different, na, Prabhu.
Time of every planetary system is different. Every Swargaloka has a different time, Bhuloka has a different time, Narkaloka has a different time, Brahmaloka has a different time. So every loka there will be a different time.
How it will be count for Jiva, Prabhu?
Hmm?
How our Jiva and the time will be count, Prabhu?
Count means?
Like lifetimes you are telling the Prabhu. How
So
many
each
lifetimes?
jiva, it will have its own calculation, which they will consider it to be 100 years, because practically in 15 years, if a dog lives for 15 years, he would do everything which a man does. Grows, plays for some time, then has a family, has children, finally he dies. So he earns also in between by doing running here and there for some food. So practically he does everything which a man does in 100 years. So like that, everyone has their ayu, which seems to be like 100 years for them.
Okay, Prabhu.
Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, can we say that when we say that Krishna is Kala, then Krishna as Sadasiva is called Kala, and then he comes in contact with material nature, and he only acts as the Sadasiva form of Lord acts as the Kala for the
Whether
material
Sadashiva
one.
is called Kala or no, I have not come across any pramanas for that. But one thing is there that Durga Devi is influencing this material nature, and she definitely is the wife of Lord Shiva, so his power is there in him. But whether Shiva is that Kala, I am not sure. I have not come across till now.
The one description in third canto, the term that Kali comes, that as Kali or some time factor enters all the atoms and something like that, it was there. But that Sadasiva, the term didn't come.
Okay. So
Bro, one
Kali
more
comes,
thing.
is it?
Yes, bro.
Kali comes, is it? Sometime
In
we can
purpose,
share that which shloka number, we will see that sometime. Interesting.
yes, yes.
Yes, Prabhu, you're telling something else.
Yes, and this Chanda Vegas soldiers, when that description was there, so is it figurative completely, or are there some
It
soldiers
is
of
completely
Chanda Vega in
figurative. Nothing.
Gandharva Loka?
No. Maharaj Muni's whole idea was to figuratively somehow through story attract him. So there doesn't seem to be any mention that actually there is some personality like that. Maharaj Chandavega is the what is that? Is time, and he has 360 male soldiers and 360 female soldiers who are day and night. And those soldiers are attacking and finishing or reducing our lifespan. So they are coming and breaking the building. So that is the idea.
Yes.
Okay. So give me 1 minute. My throat is drying a little bit. I will take some water and come and we'll begin with karma. Yeah, this is a very nice quote shared by Apurudamada Prabhu. I would like to read that. Time, therefore, is the energy of the Lord and acts in her own way by the direction of the Lord. This energy is called Kali and is represented by the dark, destructive goddess, generally worshipped by persons influenced by the mode of darkness or ignorance in material existence. Purport. So this is 3.6.2, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. So it is the I have extracted some part of the purport. There are more details.
Yeah, very nice. So everything is a personification. So this energy of the Lord or this form is personified, and that form is Kali only who is managing the affairs.
So it is
Yes.
the same material energy, right, Prabhu?
Yes,
The
yes.
wife Shiva.
It is
So
material.
that
Yeah.
the point Mohan Prabhu was making, Prabhuji, like that means Kali is controlled by Shiva. So he is the the lord of the Kala. So in that way we can relate Sada Shiva and this thing.
Hmm. Okay, makes sense. Yes. Anything else? Roshan Prabhu, you have something else to add?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
When we say that time doesn't influence Vaikuntha, so does this mean that every pastime performed there, whether be it past, present, or future, is enjoyed simultaneously?
Uh, it is mentioned that all pastimes are happening all the time. So how that technically works is too difficult to know.
Hmm.
So,
And
but
Prabhuji,
all
one
the
more
pastimes
question.
are happening all the time. That is the idea.
And one more question. When we say Krishna knows past, present, and future, everything. So when we say Krishna knows future, so
Hmm.
does this imply that Krishna sees infinite possibilities of the actions we will take right now, or does he know
No,
the?
Krishna knows that only one action is going to happen. We don't know that. So we are imagining different actions, and some one of them we will choose.
But Krishna knows that beforehand only what actions we will choose.
Yes.
So how does this imply that we have free will? Then we can say that we do not
Because
have free
all these doubts are coming because we are acting in the bracket of time. Then when there is somebody who is beyond the bracket of time, for them past is also same, present is also same, for future is also same. Why this doubt came to your mind? Because you think that future is something different, past is something different, present is something different. That is why this doubt came to your mind. A person who is beyond past, present, future, all three.
will.
So for them, all of them are in front of him. That is the idea.
So, but again the question remains the same, that free will, our free.
No, we can. Free will is definitely there. That is the inconceivable potency, because he is beyond this influence of time. So he knows options, but still it is the jiva who is responsible for the wrong decisions.
So again, you are implying that it is the definition of Achintya Vedabhed.
No, I mean, we can say Achintya Bheda Bhed, but I am little cautious of using because Achintya Bheda Bhed, our devotees use it too frequently. But try to understand that Lord is beyond past, present, and future. So because he is beyond past, present, and future, he knows, but still he knows that the jiva is going to take certain decisions. He is not influencing the jiva, but he knows what, just like a father knows that the child will do bad and he will prepare himself in advance. Like that, this father knows that we will do right, we will do wrong. That's all. It's not that he's influencing us in any way.
So you are saying that Krishna just estimates.
No, we estimate, but Krishna knows. That is the difference. Our estimations can go wrong, but Krishna, knowing what decision we will take tomorrow, is assured.
So Krishna already knows what I am going to do in like 2 hours. What I will do.
Yes, Krishna knows, but then he will not interfere with your decision.
Okay, no, but still it is a little bit confusing. Still, I am considering the free will factor.
Yeah, it is complex, but then free will, you should understand the fact that I am suffering for my reaction itself is a proof that my decision making is there. If the decision making would not have been there, then I should not have been the sufferer.
Why can't we say like that Krishna knows all the possibilities and he gives us the free will to choose out of that? Why
Uh,
do we say that Krishna knows future beforehand, because that it's a paradox of free will. But if we say that Krishna knows all the possibilities, infinite
I mean,
possibilities, then
logically, we could satisfy ourselves with that, but then unless we have proper Shastra Pramana, it's difficult to know that. It's difficult to agree with that. Logically, okay, we may say Krishna knows all the possibilities, and in each possibility, the further branching of thousand possibilities, and each possibility further thousand branches, like a chess game, he knows all. You just feed all the options to the computer, chess options, and then it will start playing game with you. So, like that, Lord knows everything. You could say that, but then that requires a Shastra Pramana to confirm that.
okay.
Because it also indicates his inability to exactly know what happens next.
How is this inability? He has given us the ability of free will. Means
No, he has given
his
us the free
own.
will. But if you say God doesn't know which of the four options I'm going to choose tomorrow, I am drinking water. I could have drank milk. I could have drank juice. Lord knows all the options. But if he doesn't know what I will choose, that means that particular thing he will not have knowledge about. How can Lord have not? How can a Lord not have knowledge about something?
But then again, we can say everything is predetermined. So this
No.
creates a paradox.
See, Lord know, just like I gave the father example. No, father knows
Hmm.
sometimes what the child is going to do, and he'll be ready in advance. Being a father, I have judged my son's nature. So I know he is going to do mischief. Sometimes mothers know, they know he is going to do mischief, so they keep the things properly. They would have judged their child, and that way they know. Now, just by being few days with the child, mother has judged little bit. Just by being few days with the child, the father has judged little bit. Supreme Lord, who knows in and out, how accurately he would not judge it. So the accuracy would be 100%. Mother's accuracy may be 20% wrong, 40% wrong, 50% wrong. A very close mother who knows everything about the child, maybe she is 5% wrong and 95% right in the mischief he does. But that Supreme Lord, being the supreme parent, he is 100% right about understanding our nature. That is the understanding at least I could derive from this. Maybe there are better explanations. I am definitely open for it, but I could derive this understanding.
Okay. Means I would not say my question is completely clear, but some clarity I gained from your answer.
Mm.
I would still ask more questions if comes. Okay, correct.
So now we have discussed that there is a difference between Ishvara and Jiva. Ishvara is a supreme controller, Jiva is controlled, and among Jivas also there are conditioned souls and there are liberated souls. Then Prakriti's influence is there on Jivas, Prakriti's influence is not there on Ishvara. Similarly, kāla influence is there on Jiva, kāla's influence is not there on Ishvara. Now, even for a moment, we cannot live without doing anything. Soul is an active entity. It has to perform something. So that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that nahi kaschit kshanam api jato tishtatya karma krit karyate avashya karma sarva prakriti jair gune. Everyone has to do some or the other activity. Now, what activity a jiva does, how it is going to influence him, and how it is going to act on him, the result of that. So all this is karma shastra, the science of karma, action and its reaction. So that is something very important to understand, and that is a special contribution of Bhagavad Gita or the Vedic culture. To some extent, there is some idea that, okay, so as you sow, so shall you reap. They say in English. So something you do, accordingly, you will get the reaction. So that is some level of clarity, is some level of understanding is there in different things. But then this continues over lifetimes. That is a special contribution of the Vedic literature. So that Karma Shastra is very important to understand. That is why I explained you the other day. It's not enough. 12th chapter concludes that you should perform devotional service. And by devotional service is the only way to know the Supreme Lord. And once you know the Supreme Lord, nothing else is left to be known. Finish. The topic is sealed there. But problem is we are not on that level of pure devotion. We are not performing devotional service. So the next 6 chapters become very, 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 very important and decisive to understand Bhagavad Gita. So they describe more about how to deal with Prakriti, how to deal with material nature. And in this process, the concept of karma is also touched. So that we will read now. So we will begin with the 6th ray, the last part. Karma shall now be defined. Karma is action. And although accomplished by effort, it is said to be beginningless, since the performers of action are beginningless. This is akin to seeds and sprouts and so forth. In the Brahma Sutra 2.1.35, it is said, Na karma vibhagat iti chet na nanadiva. If someone objects that there are no divisions of karma before creation, we say that this is not true, for karma is beginningless. Karma is of two varieties, sinful and pious. Sinful activities like killing a Brahmana are activities condemned in the Vedas and bring about something undesirable, such as going to hell. On the other hand, pious activities are those prescribed in the Vedas, such as optional, kamya, regular, nitya, and occasional, naimittika, and expiatory actions, prayaschitta. Among these optional karmas, such as Jyotishtoma sacrifice, bring about desirable things like attainment of heaven. Regular karma means activities that produce sin when not performed, such as the performance of fire sacrifices and worship during the 3 junctions of the day. Optional are those activities like the Jateshti sacrifice, which are performed in connection with particular occasions, such as the birth of sun. Expiatory activities such as the Chandrayana vow, extinguish sin. These are the various kinds of pious activities. Among them, optional karma, just like forbidden activities, is to be given up by one who desires liberation, for its results are hindrance to the attainment of liberation. On the other hand, regular, occasional, and expiatory activities are performed since they purify the consciousness. Okay, so see, everyone is born in different circumstances. Roshan Prabhu, I'll come back to you unless there is something very important immediately. Is it okay? I will explain this section and then I'll come back to you. So, every person is born in different circumstances. Somebody is born rich, somebody is born poor, somebody is fair, somebody is ugly, somebody is strong, somebody is weak, somebody is sick, somebody is very healthy. So we are born in different species of life, animals, human beings, plants, trees, insects. So all these varieties, why it is there? Who decides that? The present day scientists say that it's all random variation. Whereas the Vedic schools don't agree with that. According to them, it's all properly defined. And all this is defined based on our own karmas, our actions. Even in this life, if a person hits somebody in a bus, then the other person will hit back. If you speak something to somebody, he is going to fight back. Similarly, there are some karmas. If you steal money, you will be caught by police someday. So similarly, if you cheat somebody, then you will have to suffer. So if you smoke, then the lungs will get influenced. So there are our actions which are influencing us. We can clearly see that our actions are influencing us. So similarly, why not beyond lifetimes? So this life actions are going to influence next life. It is our past life actions which have created a situation for us now. And once you perform a particular action, then it's done. Once you board a train to Kolkata, you are going to Kolkata. Unless you get down and make a major change. As long as you are sitting in the train, it is going towards Kolkata. It cannot go south to Chennai. That you cannot make. So similarly, once you choose a particular body, the sufferings and happinesses of the body, you are going to suffer. you are going to experience. So there is no escape for that. So we are all conditioned, and in our conditioning, we have to act. We have to act within our limited consciousness. We are not free from that. And that is why there are different karmas, prescribed duties that are given for us to perform. Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, Kamya karma, and Prayashchit karma. Okay. So these are the different, and Nishiddha karma. These are the different activities which are different described in the Shastra. So Nishiddha karma are sinful activities which should never be done. For example, a person drinks, smokes, or takes tobacco, or eats meat. So these are things killing a Brahmana. That is gross, that is extreme. But then these are the things, these are Nishiddha karma. They must not be done. It's clearly told in Vedas that such Nishiddha karma should not be done. Why it should not be done? Because they are detrimental for our progress in spiritual life, for our perfection, and they are the root cause of suffering. So the more we engage in these activities, the more we are going to suffer, because all these are done because of the contact of senses. And so Adyantavanta Kaunteya Nateshu Ramate Buddha. Intelligent person will not dwell into this because he knows that eventually these are going to cause suffering. So Nishiddha karma should completely be given. Now, one who is serious about spiritual advancement gives up Kamya karma also. Kamya karma is karma actions performed with some material desires. Somebody may have a desire for property, wealth, or promotion, or job, or something like that. These are of this life. But there are desires of next life also. You can perform Jyotishtoma Yajna, by which you can go to Swargalok. You can go to heaven where there are more higher levels of pleasure. Now, why do Shastra prescribe these things? Why do Shastra prescribe these karmas? Because they are an advertisement tool. They are a source of attraction for people to come to Vedas. Now that you have got the first sutra of Mimamsa is Athato Dharma Jignasa. Athato Dharma Jignasa means now that you have got a human body, now that you are having some ethics, you are having some morals, at least start inquiring about what is Dharma. What is my duty? What is my responsibility? What is holding me? What is my action to be performed? Start inquiring about these things. So, okay, what is the benefit of that? You will go to heavenly planets. You will enjoy much bigger level of pleasure. So, in this way, people are attracted by this Kamya karma through the Vedic platform. So, because at least one who is sheltered under Vedas is Daiva, or one who is not sheltered in the Vedas is Asura. Better be the Daiva. So, at least out of desires you come here. But gradually, as a person goes to heavenly planets, enjoys the pleasures, and what happens after that? What happens after he has enjoyed?
He will suffer.
Yes, more?
He comes again to this material world.
Yes, Tetu Bhuktva Swargalokam Vishadam, Shine Punne Martelokam Vishanti, Evam Trai Dharma Manuprapanna, Katagata Kama Kama Alapati. So don't fall trap to these Trai Dharmas, Krishna says, the Dharma of the Vedas. Don't fall trap to that, because even if you go to Swargaloka, one day once the Punya is over, you have to come back. Okay, now fine, we enjoyed heaven and we finished the Punya, came back here. What we'll do? We'll do more such yajnas, so that again we'll get chance to Swarga. So people keep repeatedly doing that. Now, as you keep repeatedly going up and down, up and down, up and down, someday a person will become inquisitive. Is there something more? Is there something else I can do? That is when he gains an entry into Atato Brahma Jignasa, the Brahma Sutra he gains an entry into. That no, you can reach a state called Brahman where there is no coming back. That is interesting. Then is so Kamya karmas are very important because they are a very important platform for a person to come to the level of what is that? Nishkama karma. That is why Bhagavatam says, Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo daradi tivrena bhakti yogena Yajeta Purushakam. So you may have desires, you may not have desires, or you may have desire for liberation. Okay, somehow worship the Supreme Lord, because that is a very good stepping stone. That's a very good start for everyone. So one thing you should understand, the Vedic system was a very beautiful system because it created a facility for everyone to move on this path of progress. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartam karma paunteya mukta sanga samachara, and evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartayati aya adharuya drindiya rama mogam partha sachivati. This yajna cycle I have done. Krishna has set up this yajna cycle so that people somehow or the other connect with him. Now, those who were not on the platform of pure devotional service, those who are not on the highest level, at least they are somewhere absorbed in this karma. That way it is helping them come beyond kamya karma to nishkam karma. They are at least on the ladder. Somewhere they are on the ladder. If that opportunity is denied, then they will not be placed anywhere on the ladder. So it will be a great disservice for people. So that is why Vedas give this karma kanda. What is karma kanda? The karma chapter of Vedas. That's all. There is nothing so something to be afraid of. People are very much afraid. Oh, karma kanda and karma kandi and all. Karma kanda is the karma section of Vedas. They are those chapters which describe what karma to do. So, and these are meant for gradual elevation to the platform of jnana and then to the level of bhakti. So that is why all these are different. I mean, they are different sopanas or levels. So all the sages headed by Vyasadeva were devotees of the Lord, and therefore they chanted Vedic hymns after the funeral ceremony just to please the Lord, who was present there personally. All the Vedic hymns are chanted to please Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 15.15. All the Vedas, Upanishads, Vedanta, etc. are seeking Him only, and all hymns are for glorifying Him only. The sages, therefore, performed the exact acts suitable for the purpose, and they happily departed for their respective hermitages. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.14. So the 47. So the background here is that Bhishma Deva passed away just now. So after giving all the instructions and after submitting beautiful prayers, then finally he got absorbed completely in the Supreme Lord and passed away. As soon as he passed away, the sages who were assembled here, they started chanting Veda mantras, and they gave a nice funeral to Bhishma Deva with the Veda mantras. So here it is mentioned that all the Prabhupada writes in the purports that all these Veda mantras are actually eventually meant to please Krishna only. Whatever Navagraha mantras or whatever other Devata mantras, actually they are all glorifications of Supreme Lord only. So there is in Vedas nothing other than glorification of Supreme Lord is there. So all the Vedas, Upanishads, Vedanta are seeking Him only, and that is why they glorify Him only. So that is why these mantras are to be chanted with such an attitude that ultimately I am going to glorify the Supreme Lord. So that way, if that consciousness is there, then any yajna performed will not bind us. Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. It will not bind us. So sometimes what happens is Krishna speaks in the 18th chapter that yajna, dana, tapa, karma. Some people say that they should be done. Some people say that they should not be done. So even ordinary man gets confused about it. So finally, what what conclusion Krishna gives about this confusion? Anybody knows? In the 18th chapter beginning itself, this discussion comes.
These actions are even performed by the pure persons which purify them also means on the highest level.
Anything else? Yajnadana tapakarma pavanani manishina. It purifies human being. So they must be performed. All these yajnas, danas, tapasyas, karmas, they should never be given up. They must be performed by everyone. So that is a very important point we should understand from this thing. So among these four, Nishiddha karma must be among these Nishiddha karma must be given up. There is no doubt about that. Kamya karma is suitable for new people. But once a person starts advancing spiritually, once a person wants to progress seriously in spiritual life, he must give up kamya karma. He must give up karmas for material desires. Okay. Now, it's an art of doing the same activities without material desires. Yoga karma su kaushalam, Krishna says in the second chapter. No, when he says Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjana, you should not get trapped in the three modes. So sometimes hearing this sloka, whatever devotees think, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjana. Vedas speak about only three modes, we will leave all the Vedas. So Vedas should not be studied. That is the thing we discussed. But if that is the case, Krishna would not say in the 15th chapter that Atosmi Loke Vedesha Pratita Purushottama. It's me only who is being described. He would not say in the 16th chapter that Yashastra Vidyam Utsruja Vartate Kamakarata Nasa Siddhim Avapnauti Nasukam Nakaram Gatim. Tasmat Shastra Pramanam. You should do according to Shastra Praman. He would not say that. Now here in 18th chapter, he would not say that. Yajna Dana Tapak Karma Pavanani Manishina. It's also mentioned there that if you don't perform the proper mantras, then the whole yajna becomes tamsika. That is also there mentioned in the 18th chapter itself. Now, the same actions can be done with in the intent of pure devotion, without material desires. So that art one should learn is what Krishna is saying in the second chapter. Yuddha karmasu kaushala, yoga karmasu kaushala. That yoga, which is an art, that we have to learn. That is the point he is telling here. So that way, kama karma will not be there. It will be only karma. It will be only actions for purifications. Now, there are some karmas which are nitya. Every day it must be done. You cannot give it up. For example, Trikala Sandhya. 3 times we have to do Sandhya Vandanam. So this Sandhya Vandanam is a big procedure and that is very essential for every Brahmana. He must not miss it. There is sin is incurred if we miss Sandhya Vandanam. So that is essential. Similarly, a Grahastha is encouraged to worship the deities. That is his Nitya Karma. Especially Brahmanas must do it. Worship the deities at home, worship Shaligrama at home. And Grahastha Brahmana has yajna to perform every day. They call it Vaishvadeva yajna. They are yajna for Vishwadevas. So that yajna has to be performed by the Grahastha every day. Brahmachari also has their Agnihotra yajna to be performed every day. So this Nitya karmas which are there every day, so regularly which has to be performed, they must be performed. If they are not performed, then it will lead to sin. Similarly, there are something called Naimittika karmas. Naimittika karmas are like on special occasions. For example, Jata karma. You cannot do Jata karma every day or every year like that. You have to do only when the wife is pregnant and the child is born. Only at that time Jata karma has to be done. Only at that time Namakarana has to be done. So these are Naimittika karmas meant for particular nimittas. Now these cannot be given up because when that nimitta comes, it must be done, but it must be done with the idea that it is completely for the Supreme Lord. So with that consciousness you can do. Similarly, there are Prayashchit karmas. Here it's mentioned Chandrayana Vrata. Chandrayana Vrata is a difficult vrata. It is how it is done is for the next 15 days. Today, first day a person eats just one morsel of rice. Second day he eats 2 morsels of rice. Third day he eats 3 morsels of rice. In this way he goes on increasing till 15. And then he goes on reducing to again 1 morsel. So in this way he eats. So Chandrayana Vrata is recommended for various mistakes that we do. For example, when you are eating the remnants of somebody else, that is when Chandrayana Vrata has to be performed. Then Anya Devata Bhuktannam Chandrayana Vratam, Madhvacharya writes in Krishnamrita Mahanama. If we take remnants of other demigods, then we have to perform Chandrayana Vratam. Other than Vishnu, if you take remnants of anybody else, Chandrayana Vratam is recommended. Similarly, when you are sitting and having prasadam, if the next person touches you, then also Chandrayana Vratam is recommended. Like that, there are some vratas which are prayashchitas. If we miss the Sandhya, then we have to perform one extra argya to Surya Narayana Bhagwan. So that is also, I mean, if you miss the time, If sun has risen and then you are performing sandhya, then there is prayaschitta for that. So similarly, this prayaschitta karma is very important because it removes the sins. Otherwise, if prayaschitta is not performed, then there will be sins. So these karmas are quite important. They have to be taken quite seriously if we really want to purify our existence. Okay. So that is the understanding we have to do. And ultimately, all this karma has to be done for yajna. Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. To facilitate yajna, these karmas have to be performed. That is the understanding we derive from this. Okay, any questions till now before I start some different section? Yes, Prabhu.
This Prashchit karma, now you are telling me, Prabhuji, I have done many mistakes for me personally. So do I have to do this as if I am chanting? So does this also count as Prashchit, or I have to do those specifically? I guess.
So just one name of Krishna purifies so many sins that a person cannot do so many. This is mentioned in Shastras. The question is, who has chanted that one name of Krishna, which can purify everything? So the quality of chanting still ours has to improve a lot. And we are not on the level of complete purity. So we have to continue chanting. And in Kali Yuga, chanting is the way to relinquish all the sins. But at least sin no more. At least we can take care that going forward, we don't engage in sinful activities. That is why all these karmas have to be properly performed by us without mistake. So that at least from now, we don't add to the list. Because if we add to the list thinking that I am anyway chanting, it becomes namno bala hi papa buddhi. It will be committing sinful activities on the strength of the knowledge. I am chanting the holy name, so if I don't do some karmas, it's okay. If I don't do Gayatri at right time, it's okay because I'm chanting. So not like that. So then it will become offense to the holy name. So at least going forward, the karmas have to be done properly, and there is a systematic way. Gradually, devotees should learn the systematic way of doing it also. So if you go to 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Putana is dead, and when Putana is dead, the gopis are putting Krishna on her lap, and they are chanting different mantras for his protection. And while chanting the mantras, they offer some nyasas, they do some mudras, and when they do all these things, and then they start chanting the mantra. So even the Gayatri mantra and other mantras which are given to this by the spiritual master, there are some preparations for that before we start chanting the mantras. So gradually these preparatory things have to be learned. So that is why traditionally there was concepts of Sandhya Vandana and all, which was essential for all these things. This is one part of it. Second part of it is, suppose somebody is really pure, because ultimately with jnana there is karma mukti. You are released from the bondage of karma by gaining jnana, by knowledge. That is also mentioned in Brahma Sutras. So does it mean that I am a knowledgeable devotee and I don't have karma? So one thing you should understand is that even if you are like really devoted and pure, still you have to perform karma, because karmaneva samsiddhim astitya janakadaya lokasangraham evapi sampashan. For leading a role model for others, we have to perform actions properly. Now, if we miss on these things, then people will say ISKCON devotees are only living all these things. They claim to be more religious than us, but they are only living all this karma. So why we should do? So we will be a wrong role model for the society. One thing you should understand, that everyone will not be devotees. Because Krishna clearly says in Bhagavad Gita, Na buddhi bedam janayet ajnanan karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharam. Most people are not intelligent. They are not interested in devotional service. So at least let them somewhere be climbing this ladder of dharma, so that one day they will be able to give up this kamya karma and nishidha karma. At least they will be on the path of dharma. So for them to be on the path of dharma, we should be a role model for them. So the same activities can be done in pure devotion, but the action should not be missed. Because if we miss the action, then people will follow our example. So for that things, all these actions which are mentioned, they must be seriously performed by devotees, but with the understanding that it is for the Supreme Lord. Ultimately, we have to surrender everything to the Supreme Lord. So we cannot give up actions at any stage. Okay.
And Prabhuji, one more thing. So we have often heard that sannyasis don't have to do this Sandhya Vandanam and all. So can you clarify that?
Yeah, so I will read the next section, it will be clear. Moreover, the pious or sinful activities which were accumulated before the rise of knowledge are destroyed by knowledge. A wise person is not tainted by the karma performed from then on. The Chandogya Upanishad declares, Tat yathe shika tulyam agnau proktam pradavye taivam hasya sarve papamanah praduyante ya etat evam vidwan agnihotram juhoti. Just like reed fibers thrown into fire are completely burnt. Similarly, when one who knows the Supreme Lord performs a fire sacrifice, all his sinful reactions are burned. Yatar pushkara palasha apno na shilayanta evam vidhi papam karma na shlishyate. Just as water does not cling to a lotus petal, sinful activity does not cling to the one who knows the Supreme in this way. In this text, the destruction of accumulated sin and the disconnection from sinful activities being performed are mentioned. Ubhe haivaisha ete tatra amrita sadva asadhuni. Bradharanyaka Upanishad 4.4.22. The liberated soul then transcends both pious and sinful activities. Here, the destruction of the accumulated sinful and pious activities and the disconnection from sinful and pious activities being performed are illustrated. Such a wise person transcends both pious and sinful activities, both those accumulated as well as those being performed. The meaning is that accumulated sinful and pious activities are destroyed, and the sinful and pious activities being performed are disconnected. Thus, one has to become free from the impurity of karma by means of knowledge. Attains Lord Hari's abode by knowledge itself, resides there, enjoying inexhaustible happiness, and never comes back from there. So, as a person advances in knowledge, then gradually this karma, he will be freed from it. So the sannyasi, once you officially take up to sannyasa, you have to be completely on the jnana marg. You have to completely dedicate your life to study of Brahma Sutra, Upanishads, Shastras, and preach the same. So such a person who is so much dedicated, he has no obligation to perform karma, because Shastra clearly says no, that such a jnani, he doesn't have any obligation of this world. So he is beyond this world, and his past karmas are also erased. So he has to completely be on a jnana marg. There should be some people who demonstrate that we are on the jnana marg and we don't have any such responsibility to perform of this world. So that is why in the sannyas ashram these things are generally not there. But in grahastha ashrama, it is compulsory. Grahastha ashrama, they cannot give up these things. What happens if a grahastha is pure? Then Krishna says that even if a grahastha is pure, to set a role model for others, he must perform all these actions. He cannot give up performing this karma. So that is why grahastha ashrama is very critical. And actually, the real spiritual master is the grahastha. Traditionally, in the Gurukula, the brahmacharis were under the control of a grahastha guru, and Krishna Balaram went to Sandipani Muni, who was a grahastha. So this grahastha and his wife will guide the brahmacharis on the path. And this grahastha, because most of the brahmacharis will get married, most of the brahmacharis will be grahasthas. They are not going to be sannyasis. It is natural. So for those, when they grow up, what their daily behavior will be, what their actions will be, to set a role model, it's very important that the grahastha should be very ideal. He should be performing his karmas very properly. Even if he is pure, he has to do it to be a role model for others. So it's very essential that these yajna karmas and other karmas have to be, like shraddha and all, have to be taken very seriously in grahastha ashram. Is that okay? Yes, Roshan Prabhu.
Recently, I heard an allegation means regarding this sannyas ashram only that ISKCON devotees still after taking sannyas wear yajñopavit, and traditionally yajñopavit in sannyas ashram it was removed. So is it true, Prabhuji?
I have heard that there are different schools of sannyasa, and each school of sannyasa has different rule. Okay. So even in Vaishnava sannyasis also some sampradayas they don't have yajñopavita. Some sampradayas do have yajñopavita. So definitely we at least in some traditional Vaishnava sampradayas we do see that they have yajñopavita also. So we have to study more on that. But then one sense, if you do see the exact sannyasa dharma of nivrutti, it seems to make sense. But then it could also be that sannyasis also have different levels. Like there, some of them are paramahamsa, some of them are parivajakacharya, some of them are vanachari. There are different levels of sannyasis, and so those who are more mixed with people, so it could make more sense that they have some actions to perform. Looks like we have to find more evidences from Shastra for that. I don't know.
And Prabhuji, all this again raises one question. If you have yajñopavita, then you have to do Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri, and for sannyasa ashram it is not required. So
Yeah, some more study of Shastra is required on what sannyasa dharma is and how much sannyasa is it. But at least one thing is that mm, the present day sannyasis definitely now what is happening is that for spiritual movement sannyasis are mostly the leaders. There are no competent enough grahasthas also to do it. So
yeah.
it could also indicate that the sannyasis are role model to give mantras. Actually, traditionally grahasthas only give mantras. Brahma Gayatri, especially. Other mantras could be given by sannyasis, but Brahma Gayatri was especially given by grahasthas only in the past. So to give mantras and other things, it makes more sense that they themselves chant. So considering all these things, it might have been permitted. So we have to study more on that to get some clarity.
Okay.
All this can be very clearly understood when the right culture is there. So we have to really work to build the Brahminical culture. We should have sufficient grahasthas who are seriously following this culture. They perform their nitya karmas properly. They perform nimitta karmas also properly. Then they have their own gurukulas. They are living like brahmanas, samodama, tapashaucham. They live like brahmanas. They have their own gurukulas where they teach their students. When all this comes, that is when this culture will actually come.
Prabhuji, one more question I had. Means a personal question it is.
Hmm.
Do you provide counseling?
Hmm.
Means if I want personal counseling, means it is my personal question. It is not related to this session.
Hmm. So personal counselings and all will be there personally, so that you can approach devotees.
Okay.
We can also discuss. Devotees in this group also can discuss. No problem. Personally also we can discuss.
Okay. Okay. So I will ask you into WhatsApp only, Prabhuji. Okay. If
Hmm.
that's okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So
Prabhuji,
yes, Prabhu, please.
I had one doubt. When we were discussing about Nitya Karmas,
Hmm.
so most of the time, like our present situation is that we might know maybe this Nitya Karma has to be performed, but we don't know the proper procedures, and we might be confused even like we were discussing, right? If we do some yagna in a wrong way, then it is in tamsik only. So, and plus, if we are doing Nitya Karma and we might know it and we might not be able to do it, so somewhere we will be incurring sin, and then we will be thinking, okay, we'll chant. So would it be like naam ke bal pe paap karna, like like committing sin in the name of name?
See, if a devotee after knowing this doesn't put sufficient effort to understand what is nitya karma is, then it could create that problems. because here we are demonstrating some laziness, right? I am not going to a guru who can teach it to me. I am just thinking that I will chant and it will probably be proper. In that case, yes, definitely we would be incurring, because we have still not reached that level of purity where that pure chanting is giving us nivritti from all this. So it will in that case. So once we know, we new devotees, we cannot accuse them because they would not even know these things. But once we know, we have to put effort to learn this properly.
Okay, meaning Prabhuji, the Grihasthas, they need to perform those yagyas every day, but the procedures and all, they have to inquire it from the right authority. Meaning, if suppose if Prabhuji they are trying, and then also they are not getting some right source and all, then also would it be sin?
No, if your effort is there, and then it would not be a problem, but the effort should be there.
Okay, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, is there any book or something that is already available wherein, the Nitya Karmas are properly described so that we can have the basic understanding of things that are to be done and how do we go ahead about
Hari
things?
Bhakti Vilas very nicely describes in detail, and one of my students is very nicely coming up with a summary of that. Okay, so we will share that with you, and we intend to have some training programs also on that gradually.
Okay.
Okay, so more things we will discuss tomorrow then. We will see if we wind up the section of karma, or there will be something more to discuss. Then after that, you can read for 1 week and come up with any doubts you have. And then we will have a few days gap, maybe 2-3 weeks, and then we will have a small exam on this. Is that okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So, Krishna, I have
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
through the Sandhya Vandana, it is I mean, what are the process of Sandhya Vandana? I mean, what 3 times you have to do the Sandhya Vandana?
Yes,
So,
yes.
what is the Nitya Karma? I mean, what are in details? What should we have to do?
Interested devotees, we will have a session, Prabhu, because multiple devotees are asking on this. It is very nicely mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilasa by Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So we are coming up with some material on that. So definitely we will have a discussion on that in future.
Prabhu, one question. Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Mohan Radhapati Prabhu, your voice is low.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Am I
Yes,
audible?
Prabhu. Yes.
Prabhu, regarding Kama Karma, we hear sometimes that the Kshatriyas were allowed to eat this meat, and then sometimes we hear about polygamy also is allowed. As we hear for Kshatriyas, it was normal that polygamy. So how are they Nisiddha Karma or Kama Karma? What they are actually?
Traditionally, when they performed yajnas, which Ashwamedha yajna, Gomedha yajna, when they actually sacrificed the animals got higher birth. The Brahmanas were really expert in that. So such expert Brahmanas, it was definitely allowed in that. But then in Kali Yuga, it's banned because Ashwamedham, Gavalambam, all these are banned in Kali Yuga because people are not eligible. Polygamy is still okay because polygamy is very good actually. Because with polygamy we are protecting the woman. Otherwise, in absence of polygamy, women get unprotected. That is one problem. And those who don't have children, instead of this IVF and all these things, polygamy offers a better solution, more dharmic solution. So, in many ways, polygamy is much a boon to the society. That is why it was practiced by Vasudeva, it was practiced by Dashrath Maharaj, it was practiced by Krishna, it was practiced by all 5 Pandavas. So, all of them did it because it was very useful for the society.
One more thing people ask about that Devarena Sutotpatti. So
yes. Yeah, that was for a
allowed
different
in
age.
earlier ages. So.
That was for a different age where Prayaschitta was recommended after all the activities, and those Prayashchittas, they had a lot of time to do those Prayashchittas. And when king is not there, a heir apparent is required new king is required, it's a very big responsibility that the Vyasa, the Simhasana cannot be empty. So for those things, it was recommended in the exceptional cases, and they would do prayashchitas. But today it's not possible for them. And today monarchy itself is not there.
Yes, Guru. So they would fall in what category of karma that I was asking you?
So it is nemittaka karma. Garbhadhan samskara is also karma, and it is a nemittaka karma. Or if it was for a desire of kingdom or property, it would be kama karma. So everything it depends not just on karma itself, but the intent of the follower. If he had desire for kingdom or something, it would be kama karma. If it was to continue the progeny so that the kingdom should run properly, it would be naimittika. So, okay, Prabhuji. So we will end now. We will again discuss tomorrow. पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण।